Hi everybody and welcome back to Borderlines today. Now this afternoon I've received email from the US Department of Homeland Security, and I know people are going to say, why the hell are Homeland Security emailing a guy making videos out of his kitchen? And I'm making videos out of my kitchen, okay, who has a small channel, not a massive channel, and he's English. Can't deny that. I'm English or British, whatever you want to call me at the end of the day. And I do make videos out of my kitchen. And I enjoy making these videos. Okay, so for anybody who wants to slate me for those, already done, I openly admit to it because they're things that have already been said. But got this email, and this is what it says, and it's quite interesting, where it says the Department of Homeland Security today highlighted major enforcement accomplishments throughout Virginia as US Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, whatever you want to call them, okay, continue to deliver real results and protect American communities despite the ongoing Democrats' government shutdown. Okay, I'm not going to get involved in the shutdown because I don't want to talk about it. It bores me. Now, these arrests of child rapists, murderers and gang members, basically the worst of the worst scumbags, okay, in Virginia show the effects of the border crisis and sanctuary policies have extended well beyond border states, said Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin. For far too long, weak politicians allowed millions of criminals, illegal aliens to flood into our country. It's not my country, it's your country, the United States of America, and victimize innocent Americans. President Trump and Secretary Noem, I hope I've pronounced that right. If I haven't, I do apologize, delivered the most secure border in American history and unleashed ICE to arrest the worst of the worst to make America safe again. In recent weeks, it's almost finished, ICE has made massive strides in immigration enforcement, arresting a child rapist, El Salvador's most wanted MS-13 gang leader, and a Mexico murderer. Now, when it comes to these, now there's three of them who are absolute scumbags. Okay, and I'll be careful about one of them because even though I live in the UK, I do value my life, so I don't want to go upsetting somebody from MS-13. I doubt that they're going to bother coming over to the UK to try and put a hit on me, but you never know at the end of the day, so I'm going to try and be nice about that particular one. But the first one is this guy, and this guy is a complete and utter scumbag. Okay, so this is a guy that, as ICE have said, they've lodged an arrest detainer for a convicted child rapist that the Biden administration marked as a non-enforcement priority. Okay, after, right, and this is the worst part, he raped an 11-year-old girl. Think about it. Broke into the house and raped an 11-year-old girl. Now, what I don't understand, and maybe somebody can comment and explain this to me. Now, this guy is serving about 30 years in jail. Okay, 30 years. Now, if I base it on, now I appreciate jails in America are a damn sight worse than over here in the UK. Now, on average, in the UK, okay, it costs about £50,000 a year to house a prisoner. If you're in a Category A prison, top-notch prison, it's about £50,000 a year. I don't know what that is in dollars. I'm not about to work it out either. So you're going to house him for the next 30 years, okay, and then in 30 years' time, ICE want to release not release him. They want to send him back to, I think it's El Salvador, it might be Guatemala, okay, whichever. Why the hell should taxpayers have to pay for him to stay in prison for the next 30 years? That's my question, okay? And it's the same question for this MS-13 gang leader who's wanted for a murder. And the same question for this other paedophile in Richmond. You know, they're all going to be doing long prison sentences. But why the hell should American taxpayers, and I know people can say, what do you care? You're not an American taxpayer. And they're correct. I'm not an American taxpayer. But I would say the same thing for in the UK, because the amount of people in British jails that aren't British citizens and they're foreign prisoners is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And it's taxpayers, whether it's UK taxpayers or American taxpayers, that are footing the bill. So my question is this: why is it, let's say for instance they're in Guatemalan, why do they not put them through the system, you know, try them, if they get found guilty, give them a nice sentence, because they're not going to have a very nice sentence, to be honest. And let's say for instance it's like this paedophile's got 25-30 years, and then ship him off to Guatemala and make him rot in a jail in Guatemala for the next 30 years, and come to an agreement with Guatemala and say, that says he has to stay in jail for the full sentence. Even if it's a case of you have to come to some kind of agreement with countries around the world. But why is it the taxpayers, whether it's America or the UK, are having to foot the bill, and then you're going to kick them out? I want somebody to answer that question for me. Okay, and I know a lot of people are going to say to me, yeah, but ICE are breaking international law. Yeah, maybe they are. Maybe they are. But it's also the government's job to make sure that the streets for citizens are safe. So anybody that's going to come back to me, think about that question before you say, yeah, but ICE are breaking the law. They're not running by international regulations and everything. Yeah, they're not. And there's no real argument that I can put forward for it. But I'd rather have a government that are going to make sure that my streets are safe, where I don't have to walk down the street, or my kids have to walk down the street, and they're at fundamental risk. And that's what I would say. So let me know in the comments down below what you think. But for now, thanks for listening. And please do give us a like and share.